Next man up, 102.5, The Game, Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis from News 2, Parker Kelly with you on this Wednesday morning. We are broadcasting live from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership where the buzz is always about great service. We are 8 days away from the NFL draft. The NHL season comes to a close tomorrow. We got lots to get into with Cory. Nashville SC, a big win last night, so we'll get into all of that. Cory, how's it going?
I'm a delight.
As
Jake.
always.
I'm a delight.
As
Thank
always.
you. I've been up since 4:30.
Did you stay up for the Nashville SC game last night?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, I did.
I did not. I 10:30 kick is a little late for me. I mean, even the 9:30 puck drops for the Preds on that West Coast road trip at times were a little late for me.
It's late.
I decided to catch up on the ESPN app and on Twitter this morning on what happened out there at Estadio Azteca. But we'll get into that game.
First MLS team ever to win at Estadio Azteca.
And the boys in gold move on. They will be in the semifinals. They will face either Tigres, who has, I believe they have a 2-0 lead on Seattle heading into the second leg of their matchup tonight. So
they'll play the winner. Okay.
So they'll play the winner.
Cruz Azul was also eliminated last night.
Yes.
And Cruz Azul and Club America are the two most successful teams in Champions Cup history.
Wow.
And they got eliminated in an 8-hour span.
Yeah, and LAFC was the one to eliminate them, I believe, on the other side
Jacob
of the bracket.
Schaffelberg.
So lots going on for Nashville SC. It's been a really fun start to their season, and they are on to the semifinals of the CONCACAF Champions Cup. The draft is now just over a week away.
Yeah.
It has been...
I will be in Pittsburgh next week at this time. I needed to talk to you about that.
We will figure out the logistics of all that coming up later on. But the draft is now just over a week away. I guess that's something I'll have to figure out with TD probably too. Maybe he'll still be in town.
He will not be. Well, he might be in town. Yeah, he probably will stay in town.
Right, and cover because the press conference will be here.
Yeah.
TD, I might have mentioned this on the show yesterday. TD not going to be on the show tomorrow because the press conference, the Mike Borgonzi pre-draft press conference is tomorrow at 9. So he will be with us Friday. It'll be a TD Friday on the show as we get ready for draft week next week. As we get closer to the draft, it feels like the less we know about what's going to happen.
Well, everything's flying right now.
Right. It is kind of hilarious, the pendulum that has gone back and forth for a lot of these top 5 picks. It was Arvel Reese for months on the Jets at 2. Lately, it's gone to David Bailey, but then there were some mock drafts released this morning. Dane Brugler, in fact, released his mock draft, a 7-round mock draft for the Athletic, and he had Arvel Reese going 2 and David Bailey going to the Titans at 4. At 3, who knows what's going to happen? Arvel Reese is the favorite to go there, but are the Cardinals going to be the one picking him? There are trade rumors there. The Titans, Jeremiah Love is the popular pick, but there's a lot of names there. It looked like Sonny Styles was the name at 5 for the Giants, but now
some put it there with the Titans at 4.
A bunch of mock drafts have Caleb Downs going to the Giants this morning. So we don't know a ton about what's going on. Rumors are flying everywhere. It might be one of the most unpredictable drafts we've seen in a very long time.
Well, after number 1.
Right. Mendoza's going 1. Beyond that, I have no idea.
So it was funny. I think this was Tuesday. There were a million things on Twitter. And I put out a tweet and I said, this is like word for word here. It's been a busy day for the Titans on number 4 here, at number 4 here on Twitter. I said, so far I've seen that they now love could be the landing spot for Carnell Tate along with the Giants. And they could be a trade partner with the Cowboys at 12. I said, they could all be true, but which do you think is the most true? Jeremiah Love was the winner at 69%, Carnell Tate at 9%, and the trade with the Cowboys 22%. And I would just, that's probably appropriate. I would give him a 9% chance on Carnell Tate, but I don't see that, but that doesn't mean anything.
They've been... The smoke has been most consistent around Love. Like, there's been different players that have flown in there.
That's usually the way it happens. It starts, it fades, it comes back, and then that's the pick.
Right. That's kind of where I am, is that since the combine, Love has been the focal point. And there's been different players coming into the periphery, whether it's Ruben Bain, whether it's Carnell Tate, Sonny Styles. But for the most part, Love has been the guy for a lot of people at 4 to the Titans.
Yes. And The only thing that puts that in jeopardy for me is the Bailey Reese thing. If one of those two is there, which is very possible, how hungry is a team to come up and get that pick? And is Mike Borgonzi willing to move off that pick? I talked to Louis Riddick from ESPN on Monday, and I asked him about it. I said, if one of those guys is there, I said, how many trade offers does Mike Borgonzi have, and should he take it? And he brought up the Cowboys, he brought up the Chiefs, he brought up the Bengals. He might have brought up one more, as possibilities, but he said he wouldn't take any of them. He said you have a chance for a transformational player at 4, and he brought up Love, but he also brought up Styles, and Bailey and Reese, and he considered all those guys like transformational players who you're not going to get at 12. He did say, you trade back to 9 with Chiefs, maybe you still get Reuben Bain. Maybe.
Yeah.
But so that's the big question for me, because to me, if it's Mendoza, Bailey, Reese, then it's pull the trigger, you take Love and you move on. But it's that choice of between Reese and the pass rusher Love and the pass rusher and Love in the trade.
Yeah, I struggle with seeing a team that's going to trade up for a running back or a linebacker and have to give up premium draft capital to do it. Now, if Reese or Bailey are there, like you said,
that's the only situation where they're really willing to pay. It's for a pass rusher.
Right. Like Dallas, I think, might be willing to give up both their first to come up for Arvell Reese.
They're going to have to.
Yes. Yeah. You got to pay a premium if you're going to come up into the top 5.
On the points chart, on the Jimmy Johnson points chart, the Titans pick is worth like 1,800 points.
Yeah. Those two are like 2050.
2050. Yes. Yeah. So actually, yes. The Titans is worth. Yeah, it's worth 1,800 points, because I worked out a trade where the Titans was worth 1,800. Those two picks were worth 2050, and if the Titans threw in 66, they'd be 2060. And people pointed out, and they're correct, the team trading up is going to have to pay more.
Right.
But I was just looking for one that was balanced.
Yes. I think, yes, when you look at trying to even the scales, you'd probably have to send a sweetener back to Dallas. But
it probably wouldn't be 66. It'd probably be 142.
Or a 4th round pick in next year's draft or something like that.
Yes.
So I think there's a possibility if Reese, there's still a lot of mock drafts that have Francis Mauigoa going 3rd to the Cardinals.
Which is possible.
Mel Kiper, his mock draft this morning didn't have a single offensive lineman in the top 10, which shows you that there's really no consensus on a lot of these players.
There's been zero buzz about those guys.
No, the offensive line, I think a lot of them go in the teens. Like you're going to see Ione from Penn State will be drafted there. Yeah.
So Rob Rang with CBS Sports, who's been a draft analyst for 20 years, he had the Titans with Vega at 4. His was positional need driven.
That we discussed that. I think it was yesterday because Jim Wyatt put out his tour of the mock drafts, and I was scrolling through just seeing like, all right, what names are on here, and I saw that one pop up, and I was like, all right, let me go make sure this was
there's some context there,
and it said, what is your biggest need and who is the best fit for that need? Yeah. Which, yes, the Titans' biggest need probably is on the interior of the offensive line.
Yeah.
But he's probably a teens player. Fano's probably a teens player. A lot of the offensive linemen are probably going to go between, 8 to 19, somewhere in there. But I could see Mauigoa going higher than that. That might be the big question at 3 is, do the Cardinals feel like he's worthy of that pick?
Well, I think for the Cardinals, I think you're in a really tough division and you think you're going to stink again next year because you're not getting a quarterback this year. So you're setting up for a quarterback next year. So that leads to 2 things. Number 1, just get an offensive lineman and get yourself ready to get that guy in there.
Yep.
Or number 2, trade down and get yourself more picks so that you could possibly trade up.
Right.
But there are so many teams eyeing this quarterback class. I think there are so many teams pining to be bad this year.
Yep.
It could look like the NBA, and because there's teams that are looking at some of these quarterbacks. Now, we looked at 5 quarterbacks last year, and none of them worked out.
Yes,
none of them worked out. But that could be part of the. If I was the Cardinals and I had a trade offer, I'd really think about taking it.
100%. I think you are going to see some of those teams. The Cardinals, definitely one of them. Their quarterback room consists of Gardner Minshew and Jacoby Brissett right now. The Jets are starting Geno Smith. The Dolphins, you give the contract to Malik Willis, but I think they would like to add a rookie quarterback next year. So there's a lot. There's a lot of teams that are going to be in the market for a quarterback next year. But you're right. Everybody wants to look ahead at next year's draft class. It's next year's class is always going to be better. Not always. And you have to see how it plays out.
I mean, remember Arch was supposed to walk away with the Heisman this year.
And now he's back in college.
Yeah.
I did see Jordan Schultz. He put out 2 tweets. One of them said, teams are motivated to trade this year, right? Like there could be a lot of trades in the first round this year.
Especially for defense, he said.
Yes. But he followed up and said, teams might be a little hesitant to trade future draft capital. And I think it's because there are a lot of teams that need that young quarterback.
Yep.
You do not want to give up a 2027 first, which could lead you to your quarterback of the future, whether that's you just end up with the first pick or you can trade up and go get a guy. So I'm a little skeptical every year about the flurry of trades that's imminent. Everybody, it seems like there's always a tweet and a report like that of, get ready, it's going to be active. And then we sit there until 11 before the first trade actually happens. We'll have to see what happens on draft night.
2 things. Number one, I'm always stunned by teams' ability to pass on trades because a player they really want is there.
Yeah.
And they're like, we're not moving off this. We really like this guy. We're not moving off of it. And I'm like, gosh, I mean, you must really like that guy. When you could have gotten a first and a second for him. And, because the more bites you get at the apple, the more chances you have to get it right.
Right.
But it is shocking to me how steadfast they are on their assessment that this guy is the guy for us. And I guess I say that with how many times we see that be wrong. And I'm not just saying with the Titans. I'm saying everywhere.
Tavondre Sweat is the example of that. Like the Rams traded up for Braden Fisk the next pick and gave up a future second to come up and get him.
And they could have made that trade.
Yeah, the Titans could have made that trade instead of taking Tavondre Sweat.
Yeah, with the Seahawks traded up with them last year to get Omen Wari.
Right.
And he's pretty good.
Yep. He was he the defensive rookie of the year? No, he wasn't, but he should have been. It was Schlesinger from the Browns.
They basically worship him in Seattle. They're like, oh my gosh, this guy transformed our defense. So that's always amazing to me. And I forgot the second half of that equation, so it really doesn't matter. But teams will stick and they will stay on their assessment. And so, I know the other part was these younger GMs. Now they'll deal.
Yeah,
they'll deal, and they know their leash is short, so they're more urgent to win. It'll be interesting to see. But elite pass rushers and defensive players are just that. And so, if you're going to ask somebody to get off of drafting David Bailey, you're going to have to pay for it.
That's where I am too, and we can get into that discussion coming up next. Of if one of those pass rushers is on the board and you get a trade offer, what's the better decision to go with for the Titans? We'll also talk about, all right, if the pass rushers are off the board, you're left with Love, Styles. Where do you go? We'll talk about all of that throughout hour number 1. We'll talk some Preds today, Nashville SC, and much more. We are off and running on this Wednesday morning. 615-737-1025 is the phone number if you want to join the conversation. Our phone and text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis, Parker Kelly, next man up, 102.5 The Game. Tee it up with us at the 5th Annual 615 Open, May 28th at Hermitage Golf Course. We are once again supporting Folds of Honor to help them fund life-changing scholarships for families of America's fallen heroes. Register now to play or sponsor at 615open.com. Jake Lyman, Cory, Curtis, Parker, Kelly with you. Talking draft, 8 days away from the NFL draft in Pittsburgh. Titans picking 4th, and a trade is something that has been discussed. I've seen a couple of reports this week. I mentioned the Jordan Schultz one where he said the first half of the first round could be busy with trades. Albert Breer mentioned the Titans as a team that could be looking into making a move this week. He actually mentioned the 5 teams right after the Jets all could be looking to trade down. The Cardinals, the Titans, the Giants, and the Browns and the Commanders all could be looking to trade, which is like, all right, so clearly everybody wants David Bailey, and once he's off the board, they're ready to trade back. But let's say, for instance, that some of these mock drafts are right. The Cardinals go offensive line at number 3. They take Francis Mauigoa, and Arvell Reese is sitting there for you at 4.
Yeah.
You might get some offers. You probably would get some offers from teams wanting to come up and get Arvell Reese. Is it worth it to take the pick and pass on a guy who is clearly coveted by a lot of the league?
Well, I'd still draft Jeremiah Love if you're asking me.
I think I would too, actually, between those two.
Because I don't think Arvell Reese is an edge, and so I'm not going to draft him. Now there are other people who pound the table for Sonny Styles, and he's not an edge, but he is a middle linebacker who can captain your defense, and that he's a Robert Saleh prototype. They could say he could be a Fred Warner player, and that's a whole nother discussion.
Yep.
So you're asking if Arvell Reese is there, is it worth taking the player or is it worth taking the trade? Well, I think number one, how many picks are you getting? Because ideally you want more picks because they've wanted more top 100 picks. So I guess that's the bigger question. How many top 100 picks does this yield you?
Right.
And then number 2, how far back are we talking about? Because like 12 is about as far back as I want to go.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm willing to go there is because I can also get 20.
Right. That is the only advantage of getting 12 is the conversation starts with, we want both your first round picks this year.
Yes.
And you would have to get them if you're moving down from 4 to 12. If you're at 12, the question becomes who's left for you. Could you get Mekhi Lemon and a pass rusher at 20, or Mekhi Lemon and one of the best offensive linemen in the class at 20?
Yep.
Like that's kind of what I would want if I'm there, but it's a risk that you're taking, right? Because you trade back from 4 to 12. A lot of the top players in this draft are going to come off the board. You're definitely saying goodbye to Carnell Tate. You're definitely saying goodbye to Jeremiah Love, Sonny Styles, Caleb Downs. Ruben Bain, I would guess, would probably be off the board by then. So you might be dipping into that second tier of player. I think the top tier is all pretty similar. Like if you could get a second and maybe a third next year to move back to 8 or 9, I think I would do that.
Well, we have to see what the points are on that.
Let me look.
Yeah, I would think a second, you would need a second probably. But yeah, that would be all right. I like staying, and that was the other part. I like staying in the top 10 ideally.
Yes, because I think at that point you're getting a similar caliber player.
Yeah.
Right? Like I don't think the difference between who you're going to get it 4 and who you're going to get it 8 is a huge gap.
Because you could say, look, we're going to trade out, so maybe Love is still there at 8. Maybe Sonny Styles is there.
Yeah.
Maybe whoever is there. Maybe Mekhi Lemon. We're going to be happy with whoever's there at 8. Maybe Bain is there at 8.
And Jordan Tyson is kind of a wild card here too. There was rumors that he could be falling towards the back end of the top 20, but now the last couple of days, the mock drafts a lot of them have him going to the Chiefs at 9. So
really,
yeah,
I haven't seen that.
He's supposed to work out on Friday of this week and kind of prove that he's in a good spot health wise. We'll see how that goes.
To me, if there's red flags, there's red flags.
Yes, if we're talking about it as much as we have, it's probably there's a reason for it.
Look, were there red flags for Randy Moss?
Yeah, and it worked out.
Yeah.
That one seemed to work out.
That one was okay.
there's red flags for all of these guys.
Yeah.
And that's, as we've said pretty much since the beginning, the Jeremiah Love red flag is the one I'm most comfortable with because it's literally just he plays running back.
Well, yeah. And but to me, when the red flag is how much does a guy want to play, that's a huge red flag.
Yeah. That's, we had a little conversation NBA wise about Darren Peterson and Kansas, which he did step up down the stretch there for them. But that is probably one of the biggest red flags.
He's undraftable for me.
Right. Does he want to play the game?
He wants to make money.
Yeah.
And that's great. We all want to make money, but the game has to mean something to you.
Yeah.
At some point. I mean, it has to mean something to you. I mean, it's like, when all these guys sit out 20 games a year for load management, you're just saying you don't care. You don't care about the game. You don't care about competing night in and night out. You don't care about the fans who show up to pay to watch you perform at the highest level. I mean, you talking about like the biggest compliment someone can give you. I'm going to give money.
Right.
So I can watch.
I'm going to spend my money to come watch you play the game.
Nah, good. You can watch my backup. I'm going to go eat some popcorn and watch this one. But so, yeah, that's the biggest red flag for me. Hart is the biggest red flag for me. That's why when the Titans signed Vic Beasley, I mean, of all the bad moves they made, that one to me, I was like, because the Falcons were like, yeah, we're not talking to him. We're done. And the Titans threw $10 million to sign that guy. I mean, who does not want to play?
Well, and that's the cliche of the draft processes. Does he love ball? Like that gets asked all the time. Is like, does he love ball?
And the Titans got away from that completely.
They did, but they went back to it last year. Cam Ward clearly loves ball.
Yes,
like,
he does.
And that's why, like, the Jeremiah Love, everything is perfect except for the two letters that show his position next to his name. Like, that's the one red flag is like, do you take a running back in the top 5? I will say Peter Schrager tweeted about 30 minutes ago, and I like this because I thought it was very interesting. We talked so much about positional value and can you take a running back? Can you take an off-ball linebacker? Here was Peter Schrager's tweet within the last hour. Text from a respected NFL GM in response to a heated discussion we had on the Schrager Hour over whether a team can really take a safety, Caleb Downs, in the top 5 this year. Quote, throw positional value out this year. Food for thought. That is so.
Well, I mean, look, you've got 3-4 players who are elite players. All right.
And they don't play.
But they're elite players.
Right.
I mean, nobody ever, if you picked Ray Lewis number 1 overall, no one's ever going to argue with that.
Yeah.
Okay. If you drafted Walter Payton first overall, and I think he was 3rd, no one's ever going to argue with that.
Yeah.
Or Derrick Henry. If Derrick Henry had gone first overall instead of 40, whatever he went, 46, no one would have ever argued with that.
Yes.
Okay. You have to get great players.
And that's the discussion we had last week around the Mina Kimes clip was, yes, I agree with you in your blank random NFL draft. I would take a blue chip pass rusher, a blue chip tackle, a blue chip wide receiver over a blue chip running back. But you have to tell me who those players are.
But she was saying a B+ receiver was worth more than an A+ running back.
I disagree with that.
Well, that may be the case, but that doesn't mean I'm drafting a B+ receiver in the top 5.
Right. How about
I can get him at 35?
Right. How about I take the A+ running back at 4 and I can get my B+ receiver later on?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. And I'm sure we'll have a Jeremiah Love conversation at some point. But we're talking about the trade and why not to get out of it. And with Jeremiah Love there, and you and I have had the running back fight. All right. The reason people don't want to take the running back and they say, well, it's a luxury and, teams that are building, aren't set up for him. The Titans have a quarterback.
Yeah.
So they can go get the running back now. So the running back is pretty useless without a quarterback. But the Titans have their quarterback. They can take the running back now.
Well, and I was an advocate of the luxury of it all. Like, hey, running back is a luxury pick at 4. That way, as the season came to an end, that's where I was. But that was before we learned more about this draft class. At the end of the season, I think everybody thought Carnell Tate was a top 5 pick. Jordan Tyson might be a top 5 pick at that point. Everyone thought Ruben Bain was a top 5 pick. Those guys have all slipped down the draft board. And I look at it now and say, there's not really an alternative to Jeremiah Love that I want to take it for. So take the best player. And if that's Jeremiah Love, so be it. He's going to help your football team.
Yeah, I think we talked with Jordan Reed and Booger McFarland last week, and I think they both said they thought that Jeremiah Love was the best player in the draft.
That's what a lot of people are saying. And we looked at the ESPN superlatives yesterday. He was the most explosive runner, the most sudden runner, the best receiving back, and the best pass blocking back. It's like, all right, that sounds like a pretty complete player to me.
I mean, I don't know what the argument is. I mean, like I keep saying, if you're going to tell me he's going to be Jahmyr Gibbs, are you, and you could take him first overall. All right. First overall, you're going to get Jahmyr Gibbs. Would you go, I'll take that?
Yeah.
I would take that.
Yeah.
Jahmyr Gibbs is freaking awesome.
Well, and the comparison that everyone is making to Love is he is a bigger Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yes.
That sounds great to me.
He is a bigger and faster Jahmyr Gibbs.
They ran the same time.
Oh, was it? Okay. I think it was like 0.02 or something.
But I think Love ran it at what, 15 pounds heavier?
Yes.
So, yeah.
And he's also, by the way, 20.
Yes. He is going to be out of this draft class, I believe he is the youngest running back available. So
I mean, and I love that because he's clearly got, I don't want to say another level, but he can be coached more.
Right. There's room to grow.
And he's got tons of tread on the tire.
Yep.
I mean, because, he's not one of these backs who's been
running to the ground
for 3 years in college. And by the way, he split carries last year with Jadarian Price.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've hijacked your conversation.
No, it's all good. The trade, I think it's very unlikely the Titans trade down. Because
I think they would turn that trade down. I think you'd have to overwhelm them.
Yeah. Yes, I agree. I think you need to get a trade. We'll use the Barry Trotz. Knocks your socks off. Yeah. Like, you need to get something that you just cannot turn down. I don't think you're going to get that for a non-quarterback. I think the Titans stick and pick.
What if the Cowboys came at you with 12, 20 in next year's second?
Man,
that's a lot.
That might be the kind of trade that you look at and say that could be worth it.
And you might have to throw in, like you said, next year's fourth or something. But that would be a lot. Now, why would the Cowboys be willing to deal more? Because they think next year's second will be pick 58.
Right.
We're going to be really good. We're the Cowboys.
Yes. Yeah. So, it's the Jerry Jones arrogance of it all of we go get this player and we'll be in the Super Bowl next year. Who cares about that?
Now,
second?
I also saw, was it Jordan Schultz who said the Cowboys and Giants covet the same player?
So yes, the Cowboys, I think and this is something that I thought could come into factors. They want to get out in front of their division rival, but who do the Giants covet? Some say it's Styles, some say it's Downs, maybe it's Love. I don't know.
The last I read was Styles and Love.
Yes, I think it's Styles, Love, but there's been some mock drafts to Downs too.
Yeah.
So the draft,
well, they
again,
could probably trade down and get him, but we'll see.
Yes. 615-737-1225. We got some very funny, some interesting texts on the text line. We see your calls as well. We'll get to all of those and also have the discussion. All right, pass rushers are off the board. You're on the clock at 4. Love and Styles. I want to get inside the draft room and talk about what's going to go on there. We'll do that before the end of the hour. 615-737-1025. Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis, Parker Kelly. Next man up. 102.5 The Game. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Jake Lyman, Cory, Curtis, Parker, Kelly. Talking draft, just over a week away from the NFL draft. And the Tennessee Titans are going to have some options on the board for them at 4. We just talked about a trade.
All good ones.
Yes. I mean, they're going to get a good player out of this.
Unless they really mess it up.
Yeah.
Okay, we've seen that.
With the 4th pick.
Isaiah Wilson.
The Tennessee Titans select Ty Simpson.
Yeah.
Like that one caller who said, take the quarterback if you were at number 1.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, that conversation.
No, I mean, I really think that the Titans are going to come out of this draft with, you're going to get a good player. I don't know if this draft has the blue chip talent that we saw. I keep bringing up 2 years ago where you pick at 4, you had Marvin Harrison Jr., Joe Alt, Malik Neighbors on the board. Like,
yeah, but I mean, Marvin Harrison Jr. hasn't been the player.
Yeah, in hindsight, but like those were the type of elite prospects that you expect to get in the top 5. I think Jeremiah Love is that type of guy, just not at the position that you.
Well, like right now, everybody's salivating at Jeremiah Smith next year.
Yes,
I mean,
that's
we talk about trading up for quarterbacks. People want to trade up to get that guy next year,
right? I mean, that's the Daniel Jeremiah. If Carnell Tate was 15 pounds heavier and ran a 4.4, he would have gone 2.
He'd be Jeremiah Smith.
If he was Jeremiah Smith, yes, he would go 2nd overall in this draft.
Yeah.
If Jeremiah Smith was 1 year older, he would go 2nd overall in this draft.
Yeah. I like him more than I like Mendoza.
Yeah, that's true. Did the Raiders pass on the quarterback for Jeremiah? Hey, we can get anybody to throw to this guy. Like, we'll figure it out.
None of it matters without a quarterback. We know that. I mean, but he's a mutant.
Yeah, I mean, he is one of the guys.
He might show up in Doomsday, okay?
Yeah.
He might
Jeremiah Smith will return in Avengers Doomsday.
He might show up in Doomsday.
Love the reference.
Let's go to the phone lines driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Kenny the mailman is called in. Kenny, thanks for calling. Good morning.
Hello, good friends. I'm really enjoying the show on this beautiful day.
It is gorgeous.
Listen, let me just throw this right. I love common sense and logic. And technically, there's 32 first-rounders and 32 second-rounders, right?
Yep.
Pick. Each year, we know there's usually 14 to 16 first-rounders and about 48 second-rounders. Would y'all agree with that?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. This year, they're putting the number between 13 and 16, which makes me scratch my head. These GMs, they just bow down to the Jimmy Johnson chart. I wish they liked the Bible as much as that chart. But you can't give up a great player for 12 and 20 because you're saying it's the bottom first rounder and a high second rounder. And then they want something back from that. They would have to give a lot more than that. But really, you got to logically think, how many first rounders are in this draft? Then separate. The Titans have not had a great player in a long time. That the color commentator used to say, you have to have a dude that people are scared of.
Yeah.
They need to get one of those 4 this year and just forget the little trinkets they're holding in front of you. Y'all have a great day.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Kenny. No, I think it's a good point.
That's what Louis Riddick said, basically. Transformational player. You know, he says a dude.
The Titans don't have anybody that scares the opposing defense right now.
Now, but along the lines of what he said, 2 of the last dudes that they've drafted were in round 2.
Yes, that is true.
A.J. Brown and Derrick Henry. And then Kevin Byard was in round 3. I don't know if anybody was scared of Kevin Byard, but Kevin Byard should go to Hall of Fame, in my opinion.
Yeah, so. I think for a couple of years, you were scared to throw Kevin Byard's way.
Well, he did lead the league in interceptions this year
as
well. So he's still out there, still picking off passes, still making plays.
No, I agree. I mean, you look at, there's been a whole lot of first-round failures for the Titans, and there's been second-round failures, too.
Oh, yeah.
Plenty of them.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Christian Fulton obviously didn't pan out. He had a couple
Radens.
Dylan Radens wasn't great. We could go further back. Dorial Green Beckham. Like, there were definitely some misses in the second round, but a lot of the players the Titans have gotten have been on day 2 over the last couple of, the last decade. Harold Landry would fall into that. Nate Davis was fine when they got him in 19. But you're right that a lot of the guys that you can get, they're first round. You're hoping to get stars, but second round picks are going to be contributors too.
Well, and that's why, I say, how many top 100 picks are you going to get out of it? Because that's what you're looking at. Okay, if we can get some top 100 picks, we can take some real bites at the apple. I'm not disagreeing with him that, you get a chance in an elite player, but there are other good players there, and you just got to uncover them.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's tough for me to separate. I think I would be 50-50 on it because I really like Jeremiah Love. And I would have no problem if the Titans turned in the pick and took Jeremiah Love at 4. But I also, it's tantalizing to look at having 12, 20, and 35.
Okay. So then that's my question. I have, like, me, I would pick Jeremiah Love. And look, if David Bailey was there, I'd have no problem with them taking David Bailey. I would still pine for Jeremiah Love, but I can't argue with that pick.
Right.
Can you argue against taking 12 and 20?
That you're not going to get a player as good as Jeremiah Love at 12 and 20.
So would you be disappointed with that trade?
No, I think I would be okay with either of those outcomes, right? Because yes, you're either getting Jeremiah Love at 4, who I think is going to be that guy, the dude that Kenny was mentioning that you circle, or you're going to be able to add 3 really high quality players.
Those should be 3 starters on your team.
That's going to be 3 starters that you can plug and play. And that could be a wide receiver. That could be
a guard,
an edge rusher, and a guard. Boom. You've got 3 young, talented pieces.
It could be Jermon McCoy.
Right. It could be you could get a cornerback. You could get McCoy at 12. Maybe you get Omar Cooper at 20 or Denzel Boston. And then you take an offensive lineman.
Or you take Zion Young in the second.
Right.
Because I know he was a top 30 visit.
It's tantalizing to look at that and say, instead of getting Jeremiah Love and 1 other player, you can get 3 players.
Yeah, we fixed 3 problems.
Even if they're not going to be as impactful of a player as Jeremiah Love.
Yes.
So I think those are the scenarios in my head at 4. I'd be okay with either of them. I don't know. I think I'd be happy both ways.
Yeah.
Right. And we'll have to see what the offers that would come down.
And a lot of it will be in hindsight in who you picked.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if you nail both those picks, or you nail one of them and then the other guy's okay, you're still going to look good. But if you just get if you get Corey Davis and Adoree Jackson, and Jeremiah Love is Jahmyr Gibbs, Derrick Henry, you're like, okay, that wasn't a good trade.
Yeah. And we won't know. We won't know for a few years, but I can see both of them being successful options for the Titans. It just depends on how much Mike Borgonzi and this front office values Jeremiah Love.
Well, and again, I'm going to continue to say, if somebody's going to trade up, they're going to have to pay more. So maybe 12 and 20 isn't enough.
Right. 12, 20, and a day 2 pick next year.
Yes.
Like that is a great offer for number 4.
Yeah. Say 3 and you give them a 5th or something like that. And I don't know what those point numbers are. I mean, that's points way in the Titans' favor on the points chart. But yeah, I mean, that becomes a little intoxicating at that point, where you have to really, really think about it. But again, and this goes to what Kenny is saying with common sense, don't overthink it.
Right.
Don't overthink it.
If you got a dude on the board, you take him.
If you think, hey, this guy, if he's Vontae Mack and he transforms our defense or offense, it's no matter what.
Yep. That's what we were going to say. Parker has his post-it note. Jeremiah Love, no matter what.
Okay, yep. There you go, Jeremiah.
We've got a couple of texters who, and we've done this exercise before, but maybe people missed it. They want to say, make it real. Who are you taking 12 and 20? Do you want to do this on the other side? We will
mock.
Just go quickly through 12, 20, 35 and see what we end up with, and we can compare to.
Okay, we'll do a 2-round mock.
Yeah, and just.
But how are you going to make them make that trade?
I'll figure it out.
Okay.
We'll do it. 615-737-1025. Jay Kleiman, Cory Curtis, Parker Kelly. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Jake Lyman, Cory, Curtis, Parker, Kelly with you. We've been discussing most of the morning the idea of if the Titans are on the clock at 4 and you have the opportunity to take Jeremiah Love. All right, well, we got to restart this one. If you have the opportunity to take Jeremiah Love, do you do it or do you trade back to 12? If the Cowboys want to get in front of the Giants, like has been rumored, do you trade back and take away your opportunity to take Jeremiah Love to get an extra first-round pick? I have to restart this one because Jeremiah Love is still on the board at number 12, which kind of defeats the purpose of the exercise. Yeah. So we will restart this one.
That's right. The last one you did, Ruben Bain was still on the board at 12. And
I just didn't like the simulator that it was on.
Well, look, either one of those guys, is it possible they're still there at 12?
Yeah.
I guess so, but I don't see that world.
In this one that I just started, the Jets took Carnell Tate at 2, then traded back up to 3 and took Arvell Reese. They pulled the Texans from a few years ago.
Way to go.
All right, so let's get Dallas.
And the Jets could be super aggressive like that. They're in position to do that.
Right, they have 16 too.
And then next year they get ready to draft their quarterback.
All right, so we have made the trade. Let's see if this one actually works out for us. Jeremiah Love is still there for now.
Well, we could just
stayed on the board. All right, we're going to say you can't take Jeremiah Love.
Yes,
because again, it defeats the purpose of the exercise.
Yeah, so he's gone.
All right, so on the board for us, Jermon McCoy, Mekhi Lemon, Spencer Fano, Jordan Tyson are kind of the top ones.
So you got receivers, basically, and receivers and corners.
I like Mekhi Lemon there.
I like Mekhi Lemon there as well.
All right, let's go Mekhi Lemon. We're doing this quickly again because people said, stop talking about players you could get at 12 and 20. See who you would get. So we're trying to make this.
And look, I think McCoy is a good pick there as well. But with the injury, and I think Mekhi Lemon gives you a real shot at a 1.
So you got Mekhi Lemon at 12. At 20, Kenyon Sadiq is on the board. Peter Woods, the DT from Clemson. Vega Ione, the guard from Penn State, is on the board. You've also got Akeem Messidor. You've got Colton Hood. Omar Cooper. You're not going to double up on wide receiver in the first round, I don't think.
No.
So
that's a lot of good choices.
I mean, guard at 20, but Vega Ione might be the best pound-for-pound offensive lineman in this draft. It's just that he's not going to be a tackle.
Yeah, here's the thing is, by getting that extra first-round pick, you now have the luxury of taking him.
Yeah.
Where, like, you wouldn't consider taking a guard if it was your only first-round pick.
Right.
But it's your second first-round pick. Now, I like the edge from Miami.
Yeah, Messidor.
Yeah, and who else was on that list?
Kenyon Sadiq, the tight end from Oregon.
See,
you got a couple of defensive tackle options. Further down the board, like for 35, you've still got Zion Young. You've still got Denzel Boston. You've still got Brandon Cease, the cornerback from South Carolina.
Yeah,
Avian Terrell. So there's good options here. I think Vega Ione makes sense.
He does. You know what? He might be too good to pass up there.
So we take Vega Ione at 20.
You talk about making picks for Cam Ward.
Right. You just got him a possible number 1 wide receiver
and a third first-round pick on your offensive line.
Right. All right. And then at 35, Colton Hood sitting there.
Yeah, that's easy. I mean, what edge is there?
There's really not a ton of edge guys. Gabe Jackus is further down the board. Malachi Lawrence from UCF.
I saw somebody had him as their highest ranked edge on the board.
He could be a good pick. I wouldn't hate Malachi Lawrence. He played with Ruben Bain at
Miami before transferring to UCF.
Right. Colton Hood, Denzel Boston, Jacob Rodriguez.
Oh, wow. I really like Denzel Boston too.
I do too. Do you double up on wide receiver?
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, if you do, you're looking at, like, can you keep both the guys you drafted last year?
Yeah. So this is the like. We don't even have to make a pick here. Just by listing off those guys, it tells you.
Yeah, okay, but so who are the guys? It was Colton Hood, Denzel Boston,
Jacob Rodriguez, Avian Terrell, Gabe Jackus, Chris Brazel, Malachi Lawrence.
I'm between Hood and Boston there, just because I really like Denzel Boston.
I like him too. He's a red zone threat. That's a guy that you can just throw the fade up to. I
mean, I really like him, but
either way you go,
you know what? You've signed corners on 2-year deals. You need somebody to develop to be your one on the corner. And so I think that can be Colton Hood. I think I'm going to draft Colton Hood.
Okay, so Colton Hood there. So if you trade back, basically here's what you the comparison you can make here. You either get Jeremiah Love and one of those guys that we just mentioned at 35.
Yeah, you could. So Love in Boston would be
right. You could have gotten Love in Boston. You could have gotten Love in Hood. You could have gotten Love in Rodriguez, Love and Avian Terrell, whatever you want there.
Yeah.
Or you get Mekhi Lemon, Vega Ione, and Colton Hood.
Yeah. And look, if you told me the Titans were going to come out of this draft with Love in Boston, I would do cartwheels.
Yeah,
all the way
I know.
up and
I'd
down
be.
Murfreesboro
I mean,
Road.
talk about helping Cam Ward.
Yeah.
I mean that. Yeah, you don't fix the offensive line there, but you still got draft picks later on.
But if you can get an elite guard prospect and, a potential first round corner and Mekhi Lemon, who's really the receiver I like best.
Yeah. I mean, this is why I said I'd be fine with either of them because I think you're going,
a good result.
You're either going to get Jeremiah Love and a really good player, or you're going to get three really good players.
Those are both A+ outcomes.
Yes, I would, if you come out of pick 35 with either of those outcomes, sign me up.
Yeah.
I'm good with that. 615-737-1025. We see there's a lot of reaction. We will get to you coming up next. Also, I mentioned, all right, if you don't trade back and you pick there at 4, I want to get inside the mind of the coaching staff and how much they have an impact on this pick with Mike Borgonzi. 615-737-1025. Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis, Parker Kelly, next man up. 1025 The Game. Next man up, 102.5, The Game, Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis from News 2, Parker Kelly broadcasting live from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. Hour 2 on this Wednesday. We are getting ready for the draft, just over a week away. The discussion in the first hour was all about trading. What's more worthwhile for the Titans? Is it taking probably the best player in the draft in Jeremiah Love, or trading back and maybe getting a second first-round pick? We were using the Cowboys as an example. And so we went through it. You end up with that trade. You get Mekhi Lemon. You get Vega Ione. You get Colton Hood in our simulation that we did. Yeah. You passed up on Jeremiah Love. We're getting to your reaction here. Cameron on the text line says, trading back is a sucker's bet. It's the mystery box fallacy. You're passing on a guaranteed franchise-changing player Love because those nameless picks could be anything. One of them might even be a franchise player. In reality, you're going to end up with 2 replacement-level starters. See, Cameron, I agree with you that it is the mystery box fallacy. It's, well, the 4th overall pick is Jeremiah Love, but 2 first-round picks could be anything. It could even be Jeremiah Love.
Well, that's why you do your research, though, because now you're looking at it and you say, well, who are we eyeing at 12 and who are we eyeing at 20, and do we want them that badly?
They're not trading out because the picks that they're being given. They're trading out because maybe they don't value Love as much as they value someone else that they think could be there at 12.
Well, and again, there will be like 4 players at each pocket.
Yeah.
That they'll say, these are guys we're eyeing at 12. These are guys we're eyeing at 20. If we can get those 2 guys. And again, we're both of the mind that we're probably just going to take Love.
Yes.
But, when you start considering the pocket of players you can get, and there is a mystery box, but there's also a level of certainty that one of these 4 is going to be there.
And also Cameron saying you're passing on a guaranteed franchise-changing player. There are no guarantees. Jeremiah Love is not. I think he's the closest thing to a guarantee in this draft. But
yeah,
that still isn't.
Yeah,
it's not 90%. Like the NFL draft, crazy things happen.
Okay, so who do you think will be a star? Who are you more convinced will be a star in the NFL? Jeremiah Love or David Bailey?
Jeremiah Love.
Okay. How about Jeremiah Love or Arvell Reese?
Jeremiah Love.
Jeremiah Love or Fernando Mendoza?
Jeremiah Love.
Okay. So we have established.
I think Jeremiah Love is the best player in the class.
Okay.
But and as Peter Schrager said, throw positional value out this year because there just aren't a ton of blue chip guys at valuable positions. So you've got to just go with the best player. Yep. And I think that's Love. Let's go to our phone lines. Keegan has been waiting patiently. Our phone line's driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Keegan, thanks for calling. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, fellas. About the whole trade back scenario, I'm against trading back, whether it's with the Cowboys for 12 and 20 or really any scenario for trading back unless it's just like 5 or 6. And a lot of the reasoning is, I'm sure, enough time has passed. I'm sure not too many people remember all the shows and all the conversations that were happening during the season. But I remember the Alamo. So during the season, we talked a whole lot about moving forward, this team needs to find a coaching staff to raise their floor, to come in, install a floor. With this coaching staff, you can't go below that. Yep. Well, we did that part. We got Saleh in here, Dayball in here. Looks like we got a floor. And obviously with all the rookies and few guys we signed that know the scheme already, the floor is there already. We ain't got to worry about the floor no more. I think the time to raise the ceiling is during the draft. And I believe if you have the opportunity to draft the best player in the draft, who, as you guys are saying, is the closest thing to a guarantee in this entire draft, if you have that opportunity to nab him, put him on your offense, and raise the ceiling of the team, I think you do that in the draft 10 times out of 10. We did enough work at free agency. We hired the coaches we hired. I mean, we're looking to move forward now. We kind of got a base set. We got a good foundation we can build off of. I just don't really look at trading back to cover more positions. I don't see the value in that, considering as some guys, like I believe a texter said, some guys might be replacement level starters. They might not turn out to be great. So I just think the opportunity to grab a closest in the draft thing to a guarantee, I think you grab him, you raise the ceiling of the offense. And I mean, you let the coaching staff do what they do. They're going to raise the floor. They're going to make the team competitive. At this point, with all the talk from last season, this offseason, I don't see a trade back being beneficial to the team at this point. But yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Keegan. And that is what we discussed, is that with the coaching staff and free agency, you have to raise the floor. You can't be a 3-14 team again next year.
You get fired.
Yes, everybody gets fired. That cannot happen. And I think with the veteran pieces they brought in, they did raise the floor of this roster.
Yes.
But trading back doesn't mean you're not trying to raise the ceiling.
No,
this team needs.
You're trying to get more good players.
This team needs young, talented players, and lots of them.
Yeah.
And adding an extra pick in the top 20 does that. That's why this is a discussion.
Yeah,
I think I'm with you. I think Love may be more valuable. I would be happy either way.
Yeah,
I think both are good ways to improve this team. But we were having the conversation about the coaching staff, and you look at free agency, and you could see the fingerprints of Robert Saleh and Brian Daboll over a lot of the additions that they made.
Yeah, a little bit.
Talking to Teron Davenport last week, he was talking about Sonny Styles and how Sonny Styles is a prototypical Robert Saleh middle linebacker.
Sure.
He can be his Fred Warner, and he can transform our defense in year one.
Vontae Mack. Ohio State.
Yes, in Ohio, is somebody going to trade 3 first-round picks to go get Vontae Mack?
No.
Sonny Styles?
Yeah.
Maybe, but
no, they're going to trade 3 seconds to get Jeremiah Love.
I just wonder if you're on the clock, and let's say the first 3 picks are Mendoza, Bailey, Reese. You're on the clock. What's the conversation like? Brian Daboll, Robert Saleh, Mike Borgonzi, where Daboll's looking at Jeremiah Love and saying, hey, I'm trying to get back into a head coaching job next year. That kind of weapon is going to it will reimagine the way I can run this offense, because defenses are going to have to circle that guy when they're planning for us. For Robert Saleh, it's like, hey, Fred Warner was a big part of why my defenses were great in San Francisco.
Yep.
Sonny Styles can do that for us in year one. How does Mike Borgonzi take all that in and make the right choice for this team?
Well, listen, he listened to those guys in free agency. The draft is his bread and butter.
Yeah.
This is what he and his guys do. All right. And so I am a big believer, and will go to my grave believing the GM needs to make the picks that are the best interest of the organization moving forward. Robert Saleh wants to win now. Brian Daboll wants to win now. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's their jobs. But you're the general manager. You have to look 1 year out, 2 years out,
right,
5 years out.
Right.
That is your job. And so, you can listen to those guys and value their opinions. But in the end, this is your choice. Your choice. You cannot get bullied into making picks, because if you are, you don't need to wear that hat. All right.
Very true.
And so, I said he needs to listen to those picks. He needs to say what is best for the future of this football team. All right. And, and with Brian Daboll, I mean, look, best case scenario, he's not your offensive coordinator next year.
Yeah. That would probably mean that Cam Ward is looking like a franchise quarterback.
Look, if you win 10 games next year and Cam Ward throws for 3,800 yards and 30 touchdowns, Brian Daboll's not going to be your offensive coordinator next year.
Yes.
So why are you going to draft players for an OC that you don't think is going to be here, or you hope is not here in a couple of years? I mean, look, you may hope you're going to hold on to him. The only way you're going to hold on to him is if you don't win. All right. And so, I mean, that's just realistic. If they win, he is going to get another job.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. And so, from that aspect, we can sign guys short-term in free agency, but these are guys I need for at least 4 years. These are my picks. This is my team. All right. These are my guys. You coach them. These are my guys. All right. That's the way I would be.
1137 says, don't play with our emotions. Mike Borgonzi is no Kevin Costner. I got to say, thinking about it, Sonny Weaver Jr., there could have been some scandals coming out about him. I mean,
that was a terrible draft. Terrible. They're like, oh, we had a great day. They had a terrible day.
We had a great day.
They overpaid. They paid the 7th pick of the draft, first round money, and then they traded 3 second-round picks to draft a running back.
Yeah. They got an off-ball linebacker and a running back and gave up 3 second-round picks to do it. Oh, and they got a punt returner.
Oh, yeah, they got Dave Putney. Just because they feel like it.
We are 1 week away from the great draft day rewatch. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I will be watching it Wednesday night. I can't wait. 615.
Yeah. So, Borgo, You do you.
Yeah, I know.
That's
I
my
agree.
message.
I agree with that. I think that, yes, you take their advice and you don't want to get players that aren't going to fit into their scheme, and you talk through that with them. But at the end of the day, it falls on his shoulders.
And look, Salah said this and Borgo said this. You draft the best players and then you make them work.
Yeah.
You adapt your system to what they do and you incorporate them into it.
Yep.
All right. So, you find the best players. That is the job. And that's why you hear so often best player on the board.
Right.
Because that's reality.
Yeah.
We need the best football players. Look, Tony Pollard's a good player. But if you can get Jeremiah Love, this isn't a conversation.
Yeah. Tony Pollard he is a replacement level starter, as Cameron put it on it. Like that is what Tony Pollard is. He is about as average of an NFL running back as you can have.
I would put him a little above.
I'll say NFL starting running back.
Yeah.
He's an average NFL starting running back.
And really, that's the nice place the Titans have gotten to in free agency. And I know Pollard's been here, is they don't have to run to the altar for anybody to fill a spot.
Yeah. There are players like
they need to get better everywhere.
Yes.
But there isn't like, well, we don't have this position.
Maybe guard.
They would argue we have people we can put at guard.
Yeah. But yeah, Volson, we forget about Volson. He has 50 starts.
Jackson Slater, and Kevin Zeitler is still out there.
Yeah.
So there are options.
No, but I agree with you. Like edge is definitely a need. But if Jacob Martin is starting at edge at the beginning of the season and you have Femi behind him, like you feel okay about
you drafted
that.
Femi in round 2 last year. Jalen Harrell stepped up last year and had 5.5 sacks.
Right.
All right. And again, can you get better at that spot? Absolutely. But is it like you're panicking? Oh my gosh, if we don't draft somebody in the first round, we're totally screwed.
Right, we're gonna have to have tryouts in the parking lot.
No.
Yeah.
No. And that's why we said you can take that guy in the second round. I mean, if Zion Young is Harold Landry, that's a good day.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they are in a good spot across the roster with just baseline, right?
Yes.
Like wide receiver.
A floor. They've put in a floor.
That's exactly like Keegan said. The floor is there. Time to raise the ceiling. Yeah. And I agree with what Keegan is saying. Jeremiah Love helps that. But I would also say getting 2 players at 12 and 20 would help raise the ceiling too.
Oh yeah. You got infinitely better at guard.
Right. The players outside of the top 10 are not scrubs.
Possible number 1 receiver.
Right.
And then you got a starting corner for who you hope for the next 10 years.
That's the issue with the argument there is I get it. Jeremiah Love is the closest thing to a guarantee in this draft. There are no guarantees, but I think he's the closest thing. But that doesn't mean that you're drafting practice squad players at 12 and 20. Those guys help your team a lot too.
No.
They should.
A.J. Brown and Derrick Henry were second-round picks.
Right.
They were pretty good.
Right.
Kevin Byard was the first pick of the 3rd round.
Saying that you're trading down to get 2 replacement-level starters at 12 and 20, that's not the goal. If they do that, it's because they feel like they can get impact players at
Harold
12 and
Landry
20.
was an impact player for the Titans in the 2nd round.
Right.
There are
Jeffrey Simmons was the 19th pick.
Yes. Now he was a top 10 pick before the knee injury.
Right.
But yes. So what we're saying is, yes, you can, I understand that, you're looking at 15 to 20 guys who are legitimate first rounders, blah, 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 blah. There are good players all over that board. And it's just uncovering them.
That's what we've been told is that it's not a great draft at the top, but it's deep. Especially at the positions you have needs at, wide receiver, edge. There's a lot of corners in this draft. Like it is a deep draft for you. So yeah, you may not get Jeremiah Love, which I would love to get Jeremiah Love at 4, but you're getting good players. This is not the question isn't Jeremiah Love and Xavier Restrepo and Jalen Harrell at 12 and 20. These guys are first round picks.
Well, and we're not talking about getting picks 11 and 29 or 30.
Right. It's
12 and 20.
Picks. Yeah.
I mean, 2 top 20 picks. I mean, and there's no other team that can offer that. We have to go to a break.
We do.
All right. Well,
we'll finish the conversation.
I have another trade scenario. All right.
Yeah.
Based on the Cowboys' wants.
Okay.
When we come back.
All right. Sounds good. 615-737-1025. We will get to your reaction as well. Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis, Parker Kelly. Next man up. 1025 The Game. Today, the Nashville Sounds take on the Worcester Red Sox at First Horizon Park. First pitch is at 6:35. You can catch all of the action on 94.9 The Fan.
Is Tim
Presented
Corbin
by
from
Family
Worcester?
Leisure and Social Canteen. I believe he is from Worcester.
Yeah, I think he is.
I think I might be going out to the game tonight, actually, too.
All right.
I
Shoot
have
some video for me.
My fiance is a Red Sox fan, so she wants to go
Okay.
out there and see some of the prospects out there at First Horizon Park. Sounds are good too. They got good players
Every
out
year
there.
they are.
So
Milwaukee knows how to draft and develop.
They do. We are wrapping up our conversation on the Titans draft. It's basically been all about, all right, if you're presented the two options at 4, Jeremiah Love or trade back with the Cowboys and get 2 first-round picks, what do? You said you had a little twist on it.
Yeah, so supposedly the Giants and Cowboys covet the same player.
Right, which I'm going to guess is Sonny Styles.
All right. So the Giants know the Cowboys are offering the Titans. Do the Giants call the Titans and say, what do you need for us to move up one spot to 4?
Now that is maybe best of both worlds.
Yes.
Let
you
me
still
see.
get your player. They don't have a 3rd round pick, and I don't know that they'd be willing to give up their 2nd.
Could you get next year's 2nd, maybe?
You might be able to get next year's 2nd or next year's 3rd. I don't know if you could get a pick in this year's draft on that.
Well, so looking at the trade value chart, which it would be close if the Giants just gave up their 1st and 4th to move up one spot. Like it wouldn't, you'd have to throw in something else there. But obviously, if the Titans are going to make this trade, they need to get something more, right?
Yeah.
Because you're risking losing the player that you want. And the Giants, you're not going to know what they want, right? Like if they want to trade up and you have your eyes set on Jeremiah Love, by trading that pick, you may think they want Sonny Styles, but you could be risking it.
You could be.
Maybe this would make sense if the Titans are sitting there at 4 and they're saying, we love Jeremiah Love, we love Sonny Styles. Whoever's there at 5, we're fine. We're going to take.
Well, I mean, you could say who are you going to take? Like, because if it's going to be Love, we're not going to trade the pick.
I'm not going to tell you that.
Okay, well then we're not going to make the trade. All right.
That was the
The
Jaguars GM.
Yeah, but
all the draft day references.
No, but I'm just if they really want to make the trade, just say, hey, we'll make the trade, but Jeremiah Love's got to be protected in the trade.
Okay. Yeah. I mean,
that's all.
Right.
So we want to take him at 5. And we're not going to fleece you. We'll take next year's 3rd.
Yeah. I mean, I think you'd have to get a day 2 pick. And again, they don't have a 3rd round pick. So,
but you add a top 100 pick and still get the same player that you want.
Right. That might be the best of both worlds.
And he's a little cheaper.
Yes, that's true. And, taking a running back that high, I believe I saw that if Jeremiah Love was to be drafted 4th overall, he would have the highest amount of guarantees among any running back in the NFL.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Which, yeah, I mean, it's still not a ton of money.
Yeah.
For a running back, it's a lot, but it's not a ton.
So, look, do I think that happens? No. But I think it's an interesting possibility.
Yes. Yeah. I think we're going to talk about every single avenue they could go down. And we're really not going to know until they're on the clock, because the Jets, I feel like it's David Bailey, but it wouldn't shock me if they went another direction. The Cardinals are the wild card here, right? Like,
yes, the Cardinals absolutely are the wild card.
The Cardinals could take Jeremiah Love.
They could.
And then you probably either take Arvell Reese or you auction that pick off to the highest bidder. Like, there's so many different ways that this could go.
It's a luxury pick for them because they don't have a quarterback.
Yes.
All right. So it would be like the Ashton Genty pick last year for the Raiders, where they got him and they can't do anything with him because they don't have a quarterback and their team stinks.
Yep.
And the Cardinals could be interesting. And look, the Cardinals at the skill positions are loaded.
Yeah, they've got some really good players.
And if you had a Jeremiah Love to that, and then you found a quarterback,
yeah,
I mean, you'd be in business.
No, they've got some dudes on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, Trey McBride. You hope Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to take a step. Is it Wilson was the player who took a big step? Yeah. Michael Wilson.
That's why. Look, I think Marvin Harrison Jr. I wouldn't be stunned if he got traded on draft day.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, so we had a texter. I don't know if I'll be able
Parker
to find
just gave me the eyebrow raise.
Yeah, because I'm getting ready to clip that.
I want to.
You think Marvin Harrison's going to get traded on draft
day? I think
day?
I said it wouldn't surprise me.
So we had a texture yesterday, and I didn't read this on the air because I thought it was kind of, and this trade's not going to happen. He said, you wouldn't trade Levis and next year's too for Marvin Harrison Jr. and their first this year. So the Titans would have pick 3 and 4. I was like, why would the Cardinals trade a first-round pick and Marvin Harrison Jr. for Will Levis in a second?
That's the worst trade in NFL history.
That's why I didn't bring it up. But it's I thought it was funny that you brought up
people
Marvin.
overestimate how much players are worth.
Right.
Marvin
Harrison Jr., I think based on what he's done, I think they'd get a second for him.
Yeah.
Maybe a back end first.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's part of a package of a deal.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying because like he's 2 or 3 years in the league.
This is his third coming
This is
up.
his third year. So he's got one more year, and then they got to decide if they're going to pay him or not.
Yes.
And so if he has a disappointing year this year, his value goes down, and they don't pick up his deal.
Yeah.
So he still has trade value this year. You have McBride.
Yeah.
And you have Wilson.
Right.
Do we need to gamble on where he is? And also, we know about him more than anybody.
Right.
So if we're willing to deal him, we're willing to deal him. And so that's why I say he could get traded.
Yeah. And, as somebody who was viewed as a Jeremiah Smith level prospect, it shows you people talking about Love being a guarantee. I would have thought Marvin Harrison Jr. was a guarantee.
Absolutely.
At 2 years ago.
Look,
you never know.
Look, there's a lot of people, myself included, who thought, I'm not saying I was picking him over Peyton Manning, but thought Ryan Leaf was can't miss prospect.
Right.
Huge with a cannon.
The draft is so unpredictable. The NFL in general is so unpredictable.
Tony Mandarich.
Right.
I mean, that's a name from the past, but he was viewed as generational.
I would feel very good about Jeremiah Love being the pick at number 4, but that doesn't mean it's a guarantee that you can fit him for a gold jacket.
No guarantees.
Lots to sort out over the next 8 days before the draft. The Titans waiting to pick at number 4, and we still have no idea what is going to happen out in Pittsburgh next week. 615-737-1025. We will talk some Preds when we come back. The Preds eliminated from playoff contention on Monday night. We'll get Cory's thoughts on the season as a whole and where they go from here. 615-737-1025. Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis, Parker Kelly. Next man up. 1025 The Game. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis,
They're
Parker
showing
Kelly
Jeremiah
with
Love
you.
highlights.
Wrapping up our Titans discussion. All of our offseason coverage is brought to you by Tennessee Brewworks, locally brewed, community driven. Tennessee Brewworks, the official craft beer of the football offseason coverage on ESPN 102.5 The Game. But time to get into the Preds.
Wait a second. What number is Jeremiah Love going to wear with the Titans?
Yeah, I know. Wandale Robinson's wearing 4.
4.
So,
and Alontae Taylor's wearing 24. And, of course, Earl Campbell wore 34.
Yeah, let's see.
Could he wear 3?
Was Joey Sly 3? No, he's 6. Hecker was 3 last year.
Okay, so 3's available.
Let's see. Let's sort by number here. 3 is Tommy Townsend, so the punter has 3 again.
Who's got 22?
22. Nobody has 22. 22 is available, but no one's going to wear it.
2 plus
probably
2 is 4.
I don't think he can wear 22, right?
Sure he can.
I mean,
sure, it's been a couple years.
But eventually that number is probably going to get retired, right?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Maybe. That would be tough. Like the only numbers that would really make sense for him are the ones that he probably can't wear. Like he's not going to wear 9.
Yeah.
He's
not going to wear 1.
Yeah, he's not. Well, yeah, obviously not going to wear 1.
Not going to wear 27.
Let's see. 13, 14, 15 are all available.
You can't wear that.
Why not?
Running backs can't wear the 10s.
Oh, you're right. For some reason, I was thinking, but no, they can. Wasn't Kenneth Gainwell like 14?
Did they change that?
They changed the number rules a while ago.
Yeah, but I don't know that I've seen running backs in that single digit territory.
In the 20s, the only other number available is 27, which is
that's retired.
So yeah, you can't wear that. So yeah, Eddie George and Derrick Henry are the only numbers available.
22.
I guess he has to wear 22.
22.
Yeah. Unless, does Eddie pull a Warren Moon?
He's pretty proud. and if he went to Notre Dame, he didn't go to Ohio State.
This is so funny that we're getting texts flying in about this. 3569 says he wore 12 as a freshman, so maybe that's an option. 12 right now is Mason Kinsey. I think maybe
that's available.
I think that's available. That one would work. All right, so 12 is an option. 8395 says 14. I think 14. I think he can wear 14.
Okay. I think that's ugly.
But it's funny. We get Keegan says hard no to him wearing 22. Should have retired it the day the King left. He's still playing for another team.
Yeah,
I don't think you can do that.
No.
Dustin from Hopkinsville says he can wear 22. What if they were both equal running backs, fit Titans, 2 faces on retired numbers? And then 2440 confirms that, yes, they can wear 10 through 19.
What number did Chris Johnson wear?
28.
28.
That one is taken by Jarek Reed.
Okay.
So
it's available.
Yeah, that's available. I wouldn't mind 28 for him. Like that.
No, I wouldn't mind that at all.
So that'll be something to figure out as after he.
What about 33? Who's wearing that?
Is it Winston? No, Cedric Gray.
Oh yeah, it's taken.
Yeah, that one's taken.
Right.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if Eddie George.
First world problems.
If Eddie George shows up at his introduction and hands him a 27. I don't think so.
I look. I know you wanted to go into the Preds. I can talk about a story about 27.
Yeah, go ahead. When Cory comes on, I set a grid and we know that it's going out the window, which is great. We just have fun.
Look, there was a time when the Titans were stretched for numbers, and I got a call from the Titans head coach saying, "I need 27. How do you think Eddie's going to take it?" And I said, "Well, number one, not well. Okay. And number two, I said, if you need it, you need to ask him."
Yeah.
You need to ask him. And the head coach said, "You're right. And really, we just need to retire the number." And I said, "That is correct." And that would be a good way to approach it with him, saying, "I know we need to retire this number." And of course they ended up not using the number.
Right. I mean, yeah, like 9 and 27 are both retired.
But I warned Eddie the phone call was coming. I hung up. I called him. Eddie, you're going to get a call.
You're not going to like it.
And they're going to ask about 27. He's like, "What?" And I'm like, "They're going to ask about 27. I said, "I've already told them it's probably a hard no."
Yeah. Chris Johnson, didn't play here long enough or have the sustained enough career to retire his number.
No, he had like 3 really spectacular years.
Maybe the greatest running back season of all time. Right? Like no one has ever had 2,500 scrimmage yards outside of CJ2K.
He was one of the most electric players I've ever seen.
So like that 2009 season is great, but obviously the longevity, I don't think warrants him getting his number retired, at least maybe not yet.
So
I think 22 is available. And you know
what? I'm going to do a poll.
Yeah, do this.
What number
should he wear?
Should if the Titans draft Jeremiah Love, what number should he wear? I'll get that poll out here in the next break.
All right, perfect.
That's at Cory Curtis 2 on Twitter.
8395 says, "What about 0?" That's Calvin Ridley's number.
Yeah, Agent Zero's
which
taken.
There are veterans that a rookie can ask for their number.
Who's 7?
7 is Femi.
You can give that up.
I'll go through. So Ridley 0, that's not happening. Ward 1, not happening. Maybe they cut Tajay Spears and just give him 2. Say
that's not happening.
Your replacement is here, and guess what? He's taking your number. Townsend, if he wanted 3, you could get the punter to change his number.
Yeah, I think so.
Like Wan'Dale Robinson, I don't think is switching from 4. Ellick 5, Sly 6, Femi 7. 8's going to be available shortly.
Who's that?
Will Levis.
Oh, yeah.
8's going to be available. There we go.
Not a great history with that number.
No, that is true.
But,
But they play.
He's doubling 4.
You know who the last, if I'm remembering correctly, the last running back to wear 8 for the Titans was?
Oh, Adrian Peterson.
It was Adrian Peterson.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there you go. That just send him to the Hall of Fame.
Okay, so he can wear 8.
Yeah, I think that might be my favorite option is 8.
And look, I think there's a very good chance, because remember when Derrick Henry was drafted, he wore 2 in the preseason, but that wasn't a legal number at that point for running backs.
Yeah.
So once the season got here, he became 22.
Right.
I think you could see Jeremiah start with a certain number.
Right.
And then after the cuts are all made, wind up with a different
Yeah,
one.
I agree with that. That there might be a preseason, off-season number for Jeremiah Love, and then his permanent number.
I have destroyed this show.
Nevada Josh says, give him Levis's number. I think that's my favorite answer. I'm going 8. I think 8's a good one.
The Ocho.
Yeah. It hasn't worked for quarterbacks. Let's see if it works for running backs.
I still like 4. He wore 4. They pick 4th.
Yeah. Would Wan'Dale give it up?
Give Wan'Dale 8.
Or
14. Give Wan'Dale 14.
Give Wan'Dale Robinson his old college quarterback's number when he gets traded.
8.
Yeah. There you go.
He could be 14.
He could be 14. Yeah, that's good. Or 13. Mason Kinsey,
he's not
12.
He's not going to give it up to a rookie.
No. I don't think Wan'Dale will do it, but 8 would be great for Jeremiah Love. 615-737-1025. If you've got any more thoughts on this, we will take it. I swear, the text line is the funniest thing, because it's like you'll get texts here and there when you're actually talking sports, but something like this comes up of what number should he wear?
Boom.
And it's just boom, you get 30.
You're welcome, Jake.
Cory Curtis, a man of the people.
That's right.
615-737-1025. Cory's going to put that poll up. We'll take your thoughts on this. We will get into the Preds at some point. We'll also talk some Nashville SC after the big win last night in Mexico City. Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis, Parker Kelly, next man up, 125 The Game. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis, Parker Kelly. We spent the first 90 minutes of the show talking about, do you draft Jeremiah Love? Do you trade back? All the options for the Titans at 4. Now we are deciding what number Jeremiah Love is going to wear.
Put him on the team.
He's already here, and we're looking at where he's going to fit in numbers-wise. We've had a couple people suggest 44. And I said to you during the break, and I want to see if Parker can guess what Titans running back I'm thinking of when I think of 44. This is 15 years ago that he played here?
Yes.
You got anything, Parker? He was a big boy.
I know.
Battering ram.
I know who you're talking about. The name's just slipping.
The name was appropriate.
Yeah, it was. Jackie Battle.
That's right.
Jackie Battle wore the 44 for the
Jackie
Titans.
Battle.
I also mentioned 44, I think of Javid Best for the Lions, who he had 1 or 2 good seasons and then injuries.
Look, as someone who wore 44, it just looks slow.
Yeah, which would be kind of funny watching Jeremiah Love in 44 just pulling away from people.
It looks slow.
It does.
It's like black shoes. They look slow.
Well, 2513 says 88, double 4 for each number. 88.
Was it Ty Montgomery?
Ty Montgomery, yes, with the Packers wore 88 as a running back.
It looks stupid then,
It does. You could, if you really want to sell, we didn't just draft a running back. We drafted a weapon.
Receiver.
Put him in a receiver number.
80. I'm sorry, Bryce.
No, lots of, they're good options. I think I'm going with 8. Do you have any poll updates yet?
I'm getting views. Votes are not registering.
It is just 11 a.m. People
right now, 100% of the votes are going to number 8.
Okay. Yeah, I think 8 would be my first pick. 22 is tough. That is a discussion that would have to be had. But it's not like 27 or 1 last year with Warren Moon, who are actually retired. 22 is not retired, and the guy who you are protecting it for is playing on one of your arch rivals. So, I wouldn't hate it.
I'm kind of for Wan'Dale giving up 4.
Yeah.
But, he's a veteran. I'm not going to be the one to tell him to do it.
Right, and he just signed a big deal.
And then I'm kind of forgiving him 22. I don't hate 8. I don't hate 8.
It won't be as big of a controversy as last year, obviously. Lots of people were not happy about Warren Moon retiring 1.
I get that.
Which, I understand the feeling on both sides. It's if Cam Ward is a bust, you unretired it for.
Look, if Warren Moon wasn't okay with it, it'd still be retired.
Right. I don't think they're going to ask Eddie for 27.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
But you don't have to ask Derrick Henry for 22.
Nope.
But I think 8. Levis. I would guess by the time they were signing jerseys, Love will be in the building and Levis won't be. So 8 would be available.
So let's see, we're at 50% now for 8, 25% for 14, and 25% for 22.
14 wouldn't be bad either. I could get behind it. It's not ugly. It's not great, but ugly. I could get behind it.
It's ugly. It's ugly.
And apparently he wore 12 in college as a freshman. So maybe he wants to go back to 12.
My daughter's number. I like that.
Mason that's my favorite number too, actually. He's 12. I think I've told this on the air before, but you know why 12 is my favorite number?
Tom Brady?
No, it's actually it's a Titans player.
Justin Gage?
Justin Gage.
The 12 gauge?
There's the tweet that pops up every once in a while, and it's there is no greater bond than a 9-year-old boy and the mediocre wide receiver on his football team. That was me with Justin Gage. I loved Justin Gage.
The Titans have had so many mediocre wide receivers.
Yeah. No, they have. It's it's literally like if I picked 85. Nate Washington was better than Justin Gage.
Yeah.
But
Nate Washington's a good NFL receiver.
But it's not like it was.
You're talking about Rashard Matthews, Justin Gage,
Rashard
Matthews.
18
Sharp.
for Rashard Matthews would be great.
Look, I liked Rashard Matthews. He was a good player, but in NFL terms, he's a mediocre receiver.
Yeah. There's Justin Gage. I don't know why. I remember him in the opening night game against the Steelers back in 2009. He had a big catch to send that game to overtime, I want to say.
He was a good altitude player.
Yeah.
Go up there and get it.
No, he was
long.
Yeah. Matt in Nashville. This is my favorite idea. How about just put a heart on his jersey for Love? No number. He just has a heart back there.
What about 00?
Do they do that in the NFL? No, they don't do that in the NFL.
You got 0 and 00. What if you like went 99 on him and just went nuts?
Yeah. There are no rules anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think you can do that.
Yeah, you have maybe there'd be some confusion when they put Jeffrey Simmons in there eligible. You had 98,
he'd have to
99
report. He could be 99, but you'd have to report.
You'd have to report
play.
on every single play. 615-737-1025. Let's go back to the phone lines. Adam in Portland is called in. Adam, thanks for calling. Go ahead.
Hey, I jumped in late. Are you saying you would support somebody wearing 22?
I did.
I wouldn't be against it.
Oh my God,
it's not retired
this is
yet.
Insane. Like
he's still playing.
So much more respect I have so much more respect for you guys than you saying something so wild and egregious. So I think I would say unretire Eddie before I let somebody wear 22. I think Derek was more impactful than Eddie, and I love them both. But
okay,
time, dude, like Eddie had a lot of help. Corey.
Yeah, absolutely. But it was a different time.
Derek made so many losers look good. Like for 3 or 4 years, there's a lot of players and coaches that were awful that Derek elevated, but Eddie had everybody around. I know Eddie was great, man. I think about the Super Bowl run where his knee just barely stays off the ground. Like that whole playoff, like he was good, he was strong, but I think Derek was more impactful to the franchise. I can't imagine somebody ever wearing that number.
This is the idea that I have for Derek in the 22. Number one, he's still playing, so that makes it fair game to me. But I think when he retires, you give him the opportunity to retire
as a
Titan.
Yeah.
And you say, when you retire that day, we will retire 22.
I guess the issue would be,
dude, that's weird.
No, it's not.
The issue would be that if Love turns into who you're hoping he is,
well, he can still keep wearing it. He's grandfathered into it.
Yeah. Do you have just if Jeremiah Love becomes a Hall of Famer, you have a joint jersey retirement ceremony?
Sure.
For both of them?
Sure.
Thank you for
the. Let me ask you this. Well, let me ask you real quick. So when Steve McNair goes to Baltimore, do you give Billy Volek 9 because he's still playing? Like, this is insane. I don't understand it, dude. I'm hurting at the thought of somebody else wearing 22.
Do I think it's going to happen? No. And let's see, how's the vote going right now? Well, 33% are willing to give him 22, but 8 is still winning. Adam.
Thank you for the call, Adam. Good stuff.
I appreciate his passion, and I don't disagree with it. Okay, you have players like it still pains me to this day to see Rennie Curran march out there in 53 the year after Keith Bullock leaves the franchise.
Yeah,
I was like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Has nobody's worn 22 since Derek left? I believe, right?
No, but they gave 31 away. In a hurry.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So, I mean, and Chris Johnson, 28's been worn for a long time. Like, obviously he's not Derrick Henry. Yeah.
No, and look, generally the rule is Hall of Famers get their numbers retired.
Right.
It's very hard to get into the Hall of Fame playing in Tennessee. We have seen that because otherwise Steve and Eddie would be much more
honestly
considerations.
Like D-Mace probably
also.
Yeah.
Yes, they would be much stronger considerations than they've been made. And I think ultimately when it comes to the Veterans Committee, some of those guys are going to get in. Like I think Steve and Eddie will both get in on the Veterans Committee. But they're going to have to wait for that. Derek is going to get in.
Yeah.
And we'll see about Kevin Byard, but I mean, he's been all pro 3 times.
Yeah. And he's led the league in interceptions twice now.
I mean, he should be a consideration.
615-737-1025. We're continuing to get reaction to this, so we're just going to keep it going on the other side. We got texts, we've got calls. I will leave us on this one. So Matt in Nashville, who suggested the heart, he realized Love 0 in tennis.
Oh,
Calvin Ridley might have to give up his number.
Just cut him.
Well, what did Ridley wear 0 in Atlanta? No, he didn't. Because you couldn't wear 0 back then.
You couldn't wear it then. He might have worn it in Jacksonville, but I'm not sure.
We'll figure it out during the break, and we'll keep taking your reaction on this. 615-737-1025. Jake Line, he wore 18.
18.
So
in Jacksonville or Atlanta?
In Atlanta.
Okay.
615-737-1025. Jake Lyman, Corey Curtis, Parker Kelly. Next man up, 1025 The Game. Final hour on this Wednesday. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis, Parker Kelly, broadcasting live from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville Studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. If you've been listening for the past 30 minutes, no, we do not have any leak. Jeremiah Love is not on the team yet, but we are operating like he is, trying to decide what number he's going to wear.
This is me. It's my fault.
Corey's got a poll up there at Cory Curtis 2 on X.
It needs votes. Come on, people.
I just voted. I voted for 8. So 8 has 50%, 14 and 22 each have 20%. Robinson giving up 4 is 10%. So I think 0 might be your solution. The issue is, so Calvin Ridley wore 18 in Atlanta. I was thinking he could go take 18 back. 18 is Cordell Flott, who just came over.
He's not giving that up.
I mean, it's a domino effect of all of the.
He can wear 14.
Yeah, there you go. Calvin Ridley, 14. Jeremiah Love, 0, because Love, 0.
I don't think he's giving it up.
I love it. 4312 says the 00 looks like the Coors Light love train. I wouldn't hate that. Nevada Josh says the closest we will ever see to Barry Sanders again will be Jeremiah Love. Watch out. Joe Rexroad might come find you.
Yeah. Says
give him 20. Pollard either give it up or get traded, bud. That's
wow. They could
trade Pollard on
or release him.
Right.
You draft him and release him, and you wear 20. Yeah,
I wouldn't be shocked if you draft Jeremiah Love at 4, if Tony Pollard gets traded on day 3 for like nothing, basically, or a pick swap or something like that. That could happen. 615-737-1025. Let's go back to the phone lines. T-Mac in Murfreesboro is called in. T-Mac, thanks for calling. What you got?
Yeah, I miss, when, everybody just had like regular position numbers, like, the running backs had 20 and the wide receiver had like 80.
Yeah.
So you think about like with Trepo, he had number 7 in college, and then when he got to the time, had 87. So here's a number that we never seen a running back have before. How about number 24?
Yeah, Alontae Taylor has that number.
Yeah.
But I like that number. I agree with you. I think that would look good on him.
Yeah, I think so too.
What was Alontae Taylor with the Saints? Was he 1? Yeah, he was 1.
Yeah,
so
he
can't.
That was taken.
That one can't happen.
24 is a good looking number. And I don't think Alontae's given it up.
Yeah.
But I agree with him, because that was one of the first thoughts that I had was 24.
Right. 24 would make a whole lot of sense.
Yes, and 34 is retired.
Yes. Yeah, you can't be 34. Again, he could be 44.
It's slow. I used to wear 44 and I was slow, so I made it look even slower.
Does wearing the number 44 drop your 40 time by like 0.2 seconds?
Yes.
So
if you wear black shoes, it makes you even slower.
There you go, man. If he wears 44 in black shoes, he's running like a 4.6.
Yeah. He's a 3rd round pick.
All right. We will, if you have any more reaction to this, we will try and get to it. But I have been promising we will actually talk about the Preds, and we will get into that here. The Predators eliminated from playoff contention on Monday night, losing to the Sharks. The Kings beat the Kraken, and disappointing now knowing the result from last night where Minnesota beat Anaheim in regulation, meaning that if the Predators had beaten the Sharks on Monday, tomorrow's game would have been win and get into the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
But, it didn't work out that way.
Nope.
You fell behind early. The offense didn't come until the final 5 minutes of the game. And now you have to look back on this season. And I think I look at this season as this was a playoff team for 4 months out of the year.
Yep.
But the slow start is what cost them, and that's why they're not playing playoff hockey for the 2nd straight year.
Look, there's an old saying, and it is absolutely true. You can't win the championship in the first couple months of the season, but you can lose it.
Yep.
And that's exactly what happened. They came out, they were awful. There's no way around it. And, a lot of us gave up on this team.
Yeah. Myself
included. I mean, and I'm not talking about the trade deadline. I'm talking about in December. I mean, I was just done. I mean, I'm like, this group, for whatever reason, they cannot figure it out.
Yeah. Most people wanted Andrew Brunette fired after the slow start.
The point I made was it's either got to be Brunette or the players, because the two are not meshing. Right now, Stamkos got it figured out. And the last 59 games of the season, I think he's been the #1 goal scorer in the National Hockey League. So kudos to him for figuring out what he has to do to be not just a productive player, but an elite player.
Yeah.
In this system and what Andrew Burnett needs him to do. I think Steven Stamkos deserves a ton of credit. Marshy just could never get on the same page.
Right.
But so yes, they have been a playoff caliber team since then, but they didn't make the playoffs, and they didn't make the playoffs because they weren't good enough.
Yep.
You gave away a point at Vancouver. You lost to you couldn't beat San Jose for the 16th time in a row.
No one beats the Sharks 16 times.
No one beats them 16 times in a
row.
But bottom line, I'd like to see what their record is against the top 10 teams in the NHL, because I would say it's not very good. They've won some games against the Wild.
They got the one like 7-3 win at Colorado,
yes.
which was.
But again, we're remembering one or two
because it was.
But like when it came to playing Dallas or Edmonton, there are a lot of losses there. There's a lot of losses there, and so they weren't able to raise their game enough against those teams. I mean, if they had made the playoffs, we'd all be wondering how many games they won against Colorado, 1 or 2 or 0.
Yeah. I mean, you weren't winning that series, almost certainly.
Now, does that mean I, wouldn't rather have them in the playoffs? No, I'd certainly rather have them in the playoffs.
Right.
But they weren't good enough. That's all there was. Look, they had a must-win game against a borderline playoff team that they've beaten 15 times in a row at home. And, it was all over Ryan O'Reilly and Philip Forsberg's faces after the game.
Yeah.
They knew what they had let slip through their fingers. Wasn't good enough. They
just could not get any high danger chances until the final few minutes where Luke Evangelista had the 2 goals. And the goalie situation was the big talk of it. Like,
that wasn't the difference.
Justus Sonnen was fine. He
held him 2 goals.
He wasn't elite. Like, it wasn't like what we saw against Anaheim.
No, but you've got to at least get to overtime. Really well.
Right. It's not his fault. Like, no, not at all.
You told me going into the game, hey, Justus is going to hold them to 2 goals. I'd say, okay, they're going to at least get to overtime, if not win the game.
Right.
They're averaged 5 goals a game against San Jose in that 15-game win streak.
They beat him 6-3 twice in the last month.
And you scored 2 goals in the final 4 minutes.
Right.
So what happened the first 56?
Yeah.
And so it's on you. It's on you. And look, I said this on this show, about a month ago? I just wanted them to play meaningful games to finish out the season. So mission accomplished.
Yep. All but one will be meaningful.
And so we got a good look at the young guys playing in meaningful games. And look at Luke Evangelista last night. I mean, he stepped up huge down the stretch. So you think Evangelista can be a part of the solution. You certainly think Matthew Wood can be a part of the solution. It looks like Ryan Ufko can be a part of the solution. I think Zach LaRue looks like a legitimate 4th liner for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
pretty.
And again, where he was drafted, you'd like him to be higher, but 3rd, 4th line seems to be his ceiling. There's just realistically. And so I think you can kind of go from there. And now those guys have got to get a year better. Because the next question is, how do you get better?
Right.
And you got to get better. Your young guys have got to deliver. That's the best thing that I can see. Your young guys, Tanner Mollendike's got to come up. Who's some of the young forwards that they've got to come up?
Well, Brady Martin is the big one, of course. Brady Martin.
Schaefer.
Yes, Reed Schaefer played a decent amount. Svechkov is one that you would love to see take a step. He had a rough year.
Yeah, okay, there are guys who you say are part of the solution, part of the problem. He's still part of the problem because he hasn't been able to elevate. He was a little better this back half, but he has not been what they needed him to be.
Yeah, and I thought Robbie made a good point yesterday, listening to Robbie and Rex Road, of some of these prospects, like, you gotta, I think his words were, you know what, or get off the pot. Like,
well, yeah, and Barry's been good with that.
Right, like Juuso Parssinen was one of those guys. It's like, goodbye. All right, yeah, you're not good enough. Tommy Novak, another guy.
Yep, get out.
So I think Svechkov is getting dangerously close to that territory.
I think he's there.
After
that's me.
A tough year. But no, I agree with you. All those names, and then you're hoping that the young guys coming up over the next couple of years are going to be like, obviously Mollendike is one that fans are excited about. 1st round pick.
Like if Mollendike can come in and be a top 4 for you next year, all right, and if Brady Martin can come in and be a top 6 for you next year.
Yeah.
And give you what you think he's going to give you and be like a 20-20 guy next year. 20 goals, 20 plus assists.
Yeah.
I mean, if he can put 50 points next year, I think that'd be great. I mean, hockey people might tell me he's 5th pick of the draft, right?
Yeah.
That's not a crazy expectation. I mean, and he can help with the culture of the team as well.
Yeah.
Not that I think the culture is necessarily bad, but I think, they need those guys. Molendyk can add some speed. Yossi's always had the great speed, but he's getting older. Tanner can come in and bring you some speed.
Right.
And Brady can bring you that grit up front.
Yeah. I think that's the group that is probably imminent to Nashville within the next calendar year. Then you've got the guys behind them.
Was the kid
Surin from Russia?
Yeah, I was gonna say the Russian. I know they're really high on, but they got to get him over here.
Yeah, he's got one more year on his KHL contract, so he's probably a 2027, 2028 type of addition to this team.
Yeah.
You've got Riker Lee, who you drafted in the first round this year. I'm blanking on the other first round pick they had. This past year.
The other forward. I mean, the guys, the defenseman.
The defenseman.
Yes.
So they've got good options. I mean, Aiden Fink is a guy who
last pick of the last David Poyle pick.
Right.
And by the way, I've gone to some of these rookie camps. Aiden Fink can play.
Yeah. And there's a chance he might play tomorrow night.
Yeah.
I believe he's been added to the active roster.
He got signed to a 3-year entry-level deal. And he was the last pick of the draft. By the way, the last guy that I can remember who was the last pick of the draft for the Preds was Patrick Hornquist.
Yes.
And that one turned out pretty well. And I think Pecorine was a 7th. So you can find good players there.
Yeah.
I mean, it happens. And I'm not sitting here saying Aiden Fink's going to be a 30-goal scorer. But look, I'll put it this way. The first rookie camp when Aiden Fink got drafted, and we were looking at Matthew Wood and all those guys, Aiden Fink was the guy who stood out to me.
Which that's probably one of the guys that you look at and say on the roster, and you're like, oh, 7th round pick, whatever.
Yeah,
and if he's standing out like that in his first rookie camp.
Yeah, his first rookie camp, I was like, he can play. They got him at the last pick. I'm like, because he was putting the puck in with regularity
right
at that camp. And I know it's just a camp, but you get an idea of talent and how they're standing up against the other rookies.
Yeah.
And he stood out. Now, Matthew Wood stands out because he's 9 feet tall. And by the way, I think Matthew Wood had a good rookie season.
Yeah.
I mean, and I thought you saw him grow during the season, which is really important as well. So again, part of the solution, you've got part of the solution, part of the problem. You got to cut ties with the guys who are not a part of the solution. And then you got to strike street. I don't know what their free agent number is.
Yeah. I think the growth for the Preds over the next year or two is going to come from the guys already in your building getting better, the young guys getting better. And the new GM going to have some decisions to make coming up this offseason.
Going to have to decide on the coach.
Right, decide on the coach, decide on some of the veteran players. Yeah. So we can get into that coming up next. Talk about what the new GM might look like as that becomes the next big decision for the Nashville Predators. 615-737-1025. Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis, Parker Kelly. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Next man up, 102.5 The Game, Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis, Parker Kelly. We got a few more segments with you on this Wednesday. Lots of Titans talk today, but we're talking Preds now as they have been eliminated from playoff contention. One more game to go tomorrow against Anaheim over at Bridgestone Arena. And now the big question becomes, all right, what are you doing in your GM search? Barry Trotz announced he was stepping down a few months ago. You've had time to build up. It seems like they cast a wide net and you're starting to narrow it down. I wanted to get your thoughts, Cory, because Max Hers mentioned something very interesting to us of they could be looking to split the job, doing a president of hockey operations and a GM.
Like the Titans.
Yes. And I immediately mentioned people in Nashville might have a sour taste in their mouth from that arrangement, but
it's a totally normal arrangement. I don't know why everybody acts like this never happens.
Just because Brand Carthon and Chad Brinker didn't work out doing it doesn't mean that it doesn't work. There are a lot of organizations across all of sports that do it.
Good people do good jobs.
Right.
All right.
And
you got to hire the right people. That's all there is to it.
I said it yesterday that I think this could be the right idea for the Predators because there is so much talk of like, all right, are you keeping the Preds culture and the inside the family with Poyle and Trotz, or are you going for young, fresh, new ideas? And I think you can marry both by bringing in somebody who has experience as a GM and make them the president of hockey operations, and then bring in an assistant GM from somewhere else who could bring you that new higher ceiling, who's kind of on the up and up. I think marrying those two things together could end up helping out this team.
Look, just hire good people. I mean, however you want to arrange it.
Yeah.
Just hire good people. That's all I care about. I mean, the Preds have had good people. They've been a persistent playoff team in this league. Have they been missing that big center for a long time?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have. They have. That doesn't mean that David Poyle was bad at his job. Doesn't mean that Barry Trotz was bad at his job. Just means that's the one position that's kind of gotten away from him.
Yeah, it's eluded them.
And they took another swing at it with Brady Martin.
Yep.
And we'll see if he's the guy or not. I know there's a lot of argument that they can't take another Preds person. And I understand that. I don't care. Hire the best person. If they're a Preds person, they're a Preds person. If they're not a Preds person, they're not a Preds person. Hire the best one.
Yeah.
You can't be biased against someone because they're in your organization.
Right.
All right. We really think he's the best, but he's been here, so we can't hire him. That's dumb.
Yeah.
That's just dumb. Okay. And you hire the best person. Now, do you hire somebody just because they're in the organization? You want continuity or what? No, that's dumb too. Hire the best person. You do your search. Your search includes internal candidates. Every search that you do should include people that are already on your staff, no matter what your business is, because you want to elevate people who do a good job. All right. But you also want to look for new blood and new ideas. I've gone through that in my business.
Yeah.
Where, I've been the sports director and we've had a weekend sports opening and I got guys who want to do sports and they're in the news department and they want to come in and they want to do sports. And I listen to them and I know them. I know what they have to offer. And some of those guys are more attractive than others. And then, a lot of times, somebody sends me a resume from Portland and I'm like, this guy does things different from me and I can learn something from him. I'm going to bring him in.
Yeah.
And so it's different like that. All right. And so it's just, I'm probably oversimplifying it. Hire the best person. I don't care if they come from Mars. I don't care if they come from the Preds. I don't care if they come from the Kings. I don't care if it's Corey Perry. All right. If Corey Perry is the best person to be the Preds GM, hire him.
You heard him, Nashville. Cory Curtis says, give Corey Perry an interview. 615-737-1025. The GM search, of course, is the next big question for the Predators. Whoever becomes the GM going to have the head coaching question. And now the Predators, they are in the draft lottery. So we'll have to see how the ping pong balls fall.
They have like a 2% chance or something.
The Islanders jumped from 11-1 last year. I mean, I don't think that's likely that it happens 2 years in a row, but we will see. 615-737-1025. Let's give away some tickets here. We've got 2 tickets to Team Boxing League as Nashville Smash faces Phoenix Fury this Friday night at Municipal Auditorium. Be caller number 2 at 615-737-1025, and you'll win 2 tickets to Team Boxing League, Nashville Smash, Phoenix Fury, Friday at Municipal Auditorium. Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis, Parker Kelly, next man up, 1-2-5 the game. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis from News 2, Parker Kelly. A few more segments on this Wednesday morning. We are getting to a few things around Nashville here to wrap up the show. Let's start with NSC.
Yeah.
Nashville SC with a massive, massive win last night down in Mexico City. Second leg of that quarterfinal match with Club America. They get the 1-0 victory to move on to the semifinals, where they will face either Tigres or the Seattle Sounders for a spot in the championship round. So one of the biggest wins in Nashville SC club history last night.
Yeah, I would put it in the top 3. I wish I had a Nashville SC person here with me to kind of go over it, but obviously the Champions Cup win is
right. That was for a cup.
It was for a trophy,
yeah.
So they're gonna put that number 1. There are some other big ones.
Maybe the one to get to the League's Cup final against Miami would have been in there.
Yeah, God, that was big.
Yeah,
but I mean, they're the first MLS team to ever win at Estadio Azteca.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something. That is something. All right. Now, and you also beat Club America, who is one of the 2 most successful teams in Champions Cup history.
Yep.
And you just took out Miami and Leo Messi, and you follow it up by taking these guys out, and you did it without Sam Surridge.
Right.
I mean, and by the way, didn't give up a single goal in 2 games.
Yeah.
I mean,
giving up 1 goal against Miami and Club America.
Yeah, in 4 games.
And it was Leo Messi scoring his 900th was the only one.
Yeah. No, it's really impressive. It's really impressive. I mean, hostile environment, playing in altitude.
Yeah.
Playing at 10:30 at night. I mean, there are a lot of things going against him in this thing. And, some of the stats went against him in this game, but Brian Schwacke delivers. And when given the opportunity, Hani Mukhtar buried his chance. I mean, it's very exciting when you talk about where this team is. And again, if you watch them play, the skill level is off the charts compared to what it used to be. And I love Jacob Schaffelberg and, some of the guys. But when you see Andy Nahar and Christian Espinoza and Hani Mukhtar and Patrick Yazbek and some of the things they do with the ball,
right?
They didn't do that before.
No.
It didn't look like that before. It is so much more creative and so much more skilled. And, if they can just, I hate to say keep getting better, but keep getting better, I mean, it's impressive. I mean, it's a big, I know it's a quarterfinal match. It's a huge win. Look, both of these teams, Club America and Nashville SC, put a priority on winning this tournament.
Yeah.
Put a priority on winning this series. Just like Inter Miami put a priority on winning that matchup last round.
Right.
So you've knocked out both of those teams. And it wasn't, well, it was our young guys beating their young guys. This is starters versus starters. All right. And so now you are 2 rounds away from qualifying for the Club World Cup.
Right.
And that would be a very big deal.
And I said to you during one of the breaks earlier on, like, the rise of Nashville SC under BJ Callahan has just been astronomical.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, they went from a team that was like, all right, they're fine, to one of the best teams in the entire MLS and maybe one of the best teams in North America. I mean, we're going to find out over the next couple of weeks if they're able to finish the job here. But you're right. Like, Miami and Club America were probably 2 of the most formidable opponents they're going to face. Now, they're really good teams. Like LAFC moved on. They're probably in contention for best team in the MLS.
Yep.
But you've gotten through some of the tougher tests that you're going to face. And I know they lead off at home again in this semifinal match.
Kind of what you want to do, in my opinion.
I mean, it's worked out for them that the scoreless draw gave them the advantage heading into the second leg. Now, you don't know if that'll happen again, but I do agree with away goals counting more, starting at home and defending your home turf. Like, I think that's going to be advantageous for Nashville.
Well, look, you credited BJ Callahan, and he obviously deserves a ton of credit, but it really starts with the front office.
Yeah. The skill level has gone up so much.
And yes. And again, that is combining BJ Callahan Mike Jacobs is the general manager, by
Right.
the way, for Nashville SC. It's combining the types of players that BJ wants to work with. Because when the club got away from Gary Smith, they wanted to look different. They wanted the way they played to look different.
Yeah.
They wanted it to look like this. All right. With Gary here, it was very defensive.
Yeah.
And then you'd send Jacob off and running and see if he could convert one, or Hani, and counter punch. But they wanted to be a more entertaining brand
Right.
of soccer. And so now you have a coach who's like, yes, I want this player. So, these players not going to work necessarily for Gary Smith, but they work for BJ Callahan and what he wants them to do.
Right.
And so now you've got a GM and a head coach who see eye to eye on what they want.
Yeah.
And ownership too. The Ingrams deserve credit on this as well. Ownership on what they want this team to look like. And so you've got everybody united, and then you're obviously willing to pay the money to bring in these players, because Andy Nahar isn't cheap, Christian Espinoza isn't cheap, Jason Palacios isn't cheap, and they've brought all these guys in, and they are electric to watch. And so it's I saw somebody tweet this out, and I don't know who it was, so forgive me if you're listening or this gets back to you, but they were right. The team is so well run from top to bottom, and they're reaping the rewards from that. I mean, they are. They have a beautiful stadium. They've got great merch. They've got great fan experience. The only thing that stinks is parking. Okay. And, but everything, and they're always looking to get better.
Yeah.
And they've found a way to do that.
And top of the Eastern Conference early on, of course, in the MLS.
I think they have the best record in the MLS.
Let's see. They got 16 points in the East.
They have one loss.
Their only loss was to Chicago.
Yep.
And in the West, Vancouver and San Jose each have 18 points.
Okay.
So
how many have they played the same amount of matches?
Same amount of matches.
Okay.
So Nashville is 5-1-1. Vancouver and San Jose are 6-1.
Very interesting that San Jose hasn't dropped off losing a player of the caliber of Christian Espinoza.
Right. Yeah. The clerical error that led to it.
Imagine how good they'd be with him.
Nashville, they'll get a week off from CONCACAF play. Won't have a match next week. The semifinal match will start, I believe, sometime between April 28th and April 30th, I saw.
Now, Sam Surridge did not make the trip to Mexico. He's got a hamstring injury. So it'll be interesting to see how much time he misses. But, that game, again, they've built some depth, with guys like Matt Corcoran and Ahmed Kassim, some of these guys that they can bring off the bench, Warren Madrigal.
Yeah.
They've got some depth, and they showed that depth off, last night.
Trevor on the text line, Cory, maybe, I don't know if they explained this in the broadcast last night, says, do you know if they had ended the match because of the chant the fans that were doing? Since NSC was up 1-0, would they have de facto won the game?
I guess so.
Yeah, that would have. If it was the home fans,
I've never heard of them ending the game early, and I'm sure the CONCACAF wouldn't want them to do that.
Right, but I guess they had to stop. I saw they had to stop the game over and over because they were doing a chant that apparently was offensive.
What's wrong with people, man?
Yeah, I don't know.
Come on.
615-737-1025 is the phone number. If you have any thoughts, we will take them on our phone and text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. We will wrap up the show when we come back. Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis, Parker Kelly, next man up, 1025 The Game. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Wrapping up the show on this Wednesday morning. Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis, Parker Kelly, chasing Big Joe. Coming up at the top of the hour. Again, I mentioned it earlier in the show, but if anybody missed it, no TD tomorrow. TD is going to be out at the Mike Borgonzi pre-draft press conference. We will have TD for the full show on Friday. Tomorrow, Max Hers will rejoin us to get ready for the last
Max
game
Hers!
of the... We'll have Max on for the second time this week. He'll join us in the first hour of the show, getting ready for the Preds season finale.
Love Max.
A couple of things. Update on the Jeremiah Love hypothetical number poll.
It's taken a dramatic shift to Robinson giving up number 4.
Yes.
It now leads the poll at 36%.
Yes. 8 following closely behind at 34.
22 is third. 14 is fourth.
Yeah.
So, I'm actually surprised to see 22 in there at third.
We will have to check back in on this once we get more sample size. I'm sure we'll have votes flooding in throughout the day, but that was a fun conversation. We got a lot of answers on it.
It's an emotional topic.
Right. And I'm getting a little more partial to 0. If you could convince Calvin Ridley to give up 0, just the fact that 0 is love in tennis, I think it would be great.
It's not happening.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Calvin Ridley, 10-year NFL veteran?
Somebody wrote on my timeline they should pick one. I'm like, one's taken.
Yeah, that one's taken.
Bro.
And it was handed out pretty specifically to one guy.
Who wears 11?
Jermaine Johnson.
Oh,
yeah.
That's a weird
it was Van Jefferson last year. But
that's
it's
a
Jermaine,
weird number.
Yeah. Well, that's what he wore with the Jets too.
Okay.
So yeah, Jermaine Johnson's
Makes
11.
him look fast, man.
It does. Yeah, 11. That's a fast number right there.
Fast.
Mike Borgonzi is going to speak tomorrow, 9 a.m. And I don't think you can't glean too much from this, right? Like,
no, he's not going to say much.
It's lying season. He's not going to say much, but I am interested to hear just kind of his take on some of these players and maybe less player specific because he may not get deep on that, but position specific about where he feels the strengths are in this draft and where he thinks the Titans are going to be able to attack certain positions, specifically the interior of the offensive line, because that's the spot on this team where I think you have.
How high are they willing to go there?
Exactly. Yeah. Is that something that they're targeting at like 35? Like, hey, we're going to go get a guard at 35?
I think they could easily go 3-4. With rounds 3 and 4, go guard center.
Guard center, yeah. I think they believe in Jackson Slater, though.
I like Jackson Slater. Huge Star Wars fan.
Which, if you draft 2 guys at 3 and 4, or in your 3rd and 4th round picks, it probably means that Jackson Slater isn't part of the long-term solution.
Yeah.
Based on the way they've operated this offseason, I think he may be part of the long-term solution. I don't know. We have to see him play.
Now, they brought in Brockermeyer from Miami on a top 30.
Right.
He's probably a 5th or 6th rounder.
Yeah.
But they might be willing to bring him in as a developmental piece.
I could see more something like that of you draft a guard at 66 or maybe 101.
Dunker from Iowa.
Yeah, go get somebody who you think can compete to be a starter right away.
Now, they brought in Basantis from Texas A&M.
They did, and he would be at 35.
Yeah, but he should be a day 1 starter.
Yeah.
And then you've got Slater competing at center.
With Sloatman, and then Volson becomes kind of your backup at left guard, right guard.
Yeah.
They probably need to address tackle.
They could do that.
Yeah, you need a swing tackle. You didn't bring back Oliudo, who was fine as a swing tackle. He wasn't good, but he was fine. You probably need to spend a pick there. So offensive line, I think that's what I want to hear from Mike Borgonzi the most about, because again, you're not going to ask him like Jeremiah Love, Arvell Reese. Like,
what number are you going to let Jeremiah wear?
There you go. That should be your first question. When you select Jeremiah Love, what number will he wear?
How much would someone have to trade offer you to get off of 4 and pick Jeremiah Love?
Hypothetically, if Jeremiah Love is the pick, would you give up 22 to him?
Yeah. Or is there a trade that would get you off of Jeremiah Love at 4?
Yeah. I mean, these are the things that we are not going to learn tomorrow.
No. And that's why, you go into these things, you're like, how do I word this question?
Right.
And, sometimes, when you hear the question, like with TD's good at it. When you hear the question, you're like, okay, I know where he's going.
Yeah.
He's asking about this without asking about this. Like when I think it was at the owners meeting, he asked about the benefit of a strong running back room.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I'm
Ask Saleh.
Like, yeah. I mean, he's asking about Jeremiah Love, and Saleh went off about how much they like Tony Pollard and Tajay Spears.
And that's what it's going to be tomorrow, because these guys, they are so tight-lipped, and it's like they want to be so hush-hush about everything, because it is anything you give up could be an advantage to another team that is either trying to trade up in front of you or find leverage somehow.
He might be willing to say how many first-round grades they have in this draft.
That'd be a good question, right?
Especially when you're talking about 12 and 20.
Right. If that is a possibility because I did just see another report that the Cowboys have called around to the Titans and the Cardinals about getting up there. If 12 and 20 is a real possibility, finding out how many first-round grades they had would be a very interesting point.
Do they go by the Jimmy Johnson chart? Because there are other charts.
Yeah.
There are other charts.
And I think some teams probably have their own spin on it. Like they probably go off the Jimmy Johnson chart, but have different point totals for certain areas. Maybe the Jimmy Johnson chart, at least the one I've looked at, it doesn't have a specific number for future picks too. I don't know if that's somewhere else, and I haven't seen it. But that would be interesting too, of like, how much do you value 2027 picks versus 2026 picks?
One of the things we haven't asked about as well, and probably needs to come up tomorrow, is James Williams. Is he still a middle linebacker, or is he in a 4-3? Is he now an outside linebacker? Because I would think he would fit more of that outside linebacker. I mean, because he's in a
4-3, yeah.
Because I mean, he is a former safety. Keith Bullock's a former safety.
Yeah,
they have very similar body types. I mean, Keith was more chiseled, but I mean, both long. Could run.
That linebacker room is thin too. Like you feel like Gray is the Mike, and then Barton and Williams, as of right now, before the draft, would be your outside linebackers.
They're going to draft somebody. It's just a matter of how high.
Right. I mean, they have a lot of day 3 picks. You got top of the 4th. You got 2 at the top of the 5th. I think you have 2 6th and a 7th.
And I'm telling you, one of them could be Cody's little brother.
Yeah, Landers
Barton he's a good looking athlete.
Yeah,
I mean he's bigger than Cody.
That would be funny.
And they could probably get him in round 6.
I think there are going to be linebackers available late, like Bryce Betcher from Oregon's another one that's been thrown around.
There's who's the kid who's the lacrosse player at Ohio State, went to
Oklahoma?
Owen Heineke.
Yes, yeah.
I think he could be a special teams player for them,
right?
And then potentially an off ball, outside linebacker. So, but they might not, I mean, he could be around 7.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you're saying, there's some late guys. I look, I know the Gonzalez kid from Texas Tech is a good player.
Rodriguez,
sorry. Yep. I'm not willing to invest that pick.
35, I think, is probably too steep, unless you've made trades and feel.
But are you going to get rid of Cedric? Because they play the same spot.
Yeah, that's true. And Cedric Gray is one of the few young pieces you have on that defense that you feel pretty good about.
Now, I mean, I guess if you wanted to bring in Sonny Styles, you could move Cedric to the outside.
Right. If you think Sonny Styles is the best player in the draft, you can figure it out.
And then you find a place to put Cedric.
Right.
But I like Cedric in the middle.
Me too.
I mean, I'm not in a rush to replace him.
Mike Borgonzi going to speak 9 a.m. tomorrow. Excited to hear what he has to say.
It'll be fun.
Corey, always great having you in. We'll do. We'll figure out next week.
Yeah, we'll
figure out there in Pittsburgh.
I will be in Pittsburgh, and just so everybody knows, so like they usually have what's called a Play 60 event. It's an NFL charity thing where they have the players come out and they do drills and stuff with kiddos. But we usually get to talk to all of the draft picks that are there.
Yep.
On that day, and the commissioner. So there's a chance I will have talked with Jeremiah Love and David Bailey and some of those guys. And if I do early enough, I will share what we gleaned on the show that morning.
Love it. And we will connect with Corey next week. That'll do it for us. Chase and Big Joe are coming up next here on 102.5 The Game.